Hi, everyone. It has been a minute. In fact, I went back and looked, and I was shocked that it has been 2 years since I have recorded a practicing presence. So, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Uh, just to kind of share a little bit about what has been going on. Obviously, I've continued to be in the presence of the Lord, live in the presence of the Lord. My friend and I have continued to connect and pray. But both of us have had a lot of personal transitions and moves, a lot of decisions that we've been making with the Lord. And I guess looking back on it, most of our time with Him and the things that we've received from Him have kind of been personal instruction and direction. So I live to an audience of one. So I live for the Lord's pleasure, and I'm not one to just record and put stuff out there if it's not from Him and if it's not for everyone. So it's been a little bit. And in the last, I don't know, couple of weeks or so, there was actually thing, one thing that the Lord highlighted in a recent time that my friend and I spent in prayer, and then my own subsequent time with Him in my own private, quiet time in worship. And He's just been pressing on me to share it. And I can see why. I think it has universal principle. So I do want to share that with you. But I also want to just, I don't know, encourage you in your walk and your relationship with the Lord, and just to remain in that place of remembering that we do live to an audience of one. It's never been about creating a following or I don't know. I'm even remembering when I was like for about 4 or 5 years, I was looking for a job and nothing was working. Like I could not. I would get interviews. I would get to a certain point. I'd get to the point of an offer, and it's like things would just vanish. And finally, I cried out to the Lord, asking, "What is this about?" And He showed me that. I mean, obviously, I know this as a as a previous HR person, that whenever a hiring decision is going to be made, I mean, part of the process is they're going to go out and check you out, right? I mean, we all have social media, we all have so many things out there right now, and obviously, I have books out there, I have podcasts, I have a lot of materials out there that clearly demonstrate my belief and my position on following the Lord. And of course, I guess when He showed me that, one of the options could have been to just go take all that stuff down so I could get a job. But the thing that really came to my mind is if we deny Him before others, He will deny us. And like He's my life, how could I even do that? It would be like denying myself, because the life with Him is the most precious thing. And anyway, walking through that, of course, on the other side now, and there's been a lot of challenges along the way, but He's provided the most incredible life in existence at this point. So, but the last 2 years has been a lot of transition. And so, like I said, a lot of my time and my friends' time when we would get together was really focused on what's our next step, what's the next move, where are you in this decision? And it's been pretty kind of closer to the heart, closer to our own personal lives. But He did highlight this one, and I do want to share it because I really, well, if He's asking me to share it, I just believe that it's going to be an encouragement. So So several weeks ago, maybe even a few months back now, one of the times when my friend and I were entering into some prayer time together, she offered to be the one to pray us in, and she did. And while she was praying, I mean, we before we prayed to get in, we had been talking about, here are all the things that are on our hearts, and again, in the middle of a bunch of decisions, like what do we do here? And I was sitting personally in a lot of unknowns, like things that had been pretty straightforward for the previous year were starting to fall away, just one thing after another. And what does that mean? What's next? What's happening? Kind of a space, a little bit feeling out of control. So we both had our own questions and cares and concerns. But anyway, as she is praying us into the presence of the Lord and just for us to still our hearts, I had this vision of the two of us with these massive backpacks on our backs. They were packed full, just stuffed. And I knew that those backpacks represented our cares, our concerns, all the questions that we had, that we were needing answers for. And I saw us take those backpacks off of our backs and drop them in a mudroom. Like we just left them in a mudroom and took our shoes off. And then we went into this place to be still and quiet before the Lord, to minister to him, just to be with him. Like, he did not have to answer a question. He didn't have to do anything. We were there making ourselves available to him for whatever was his good pleasure. And even if that's nothing, then just for us to sit still with him, that's always his prerogative, to do nothing and to be silent with us. He's always so faithful to show up, though. And I'll be honest, I don't even remember what transpired during our time with him. He always shows up and gives us stuff. But the point of this isn't that. It's about those backpacks and how stuffed they were, and that we just dropped them in the mudroom and let them be, and then entered in his faithfulness, because he can't deny himself. He showed up. But then, I don't know, a few days later, I don't even remember the timing, to be honest with you, I was on my own in my quiet time, and had just been spending some time worshiping the Lord, and there was just this tangible, like really tangible presence, and I just felt immersed in the Lord and almost leaning on him, just like it was that tangible. I could almost feel myself leaning on him, and I just heard him whisper into my spirit, "Do you want to go get your backpack and let's look at it?" And I'm like, no. I don't want to move. I don't want anything to interrupt this moment with you. Like, there's nothing more than this right here, right now. Like, no. But he nudged me and he said, "No, I want you to go get your backpack. Bring me your backpack. Let's look at it." So I see myself get up and go to that mudroom and grab this massive backpack and bring it back. And I drop it, well, not drop it, but I mean, like, I set it on the floor at his feet. And the minute it hits the ground, it collapses and it's empty. Like, it's gone. It's empty. Every care, every question, every worry, every concern, everything that had been in my heart and mind that I thought I needed answers to was gone. And I can tell you, the power of that for me is it brought that scripture to life, that we have no wants. We cast all our cares before him. He handles all of it. We don't have to carry it. But in the 2 or 3 days afterwards, as these little things would kind of come into my mind, questions again about what's this, I'm like, oh, no, my backpack's empty. And it has been months since I've thought of any care. Not that anything really changed overnight. A lot of things were still in limbo and uncertain and things that I didn't know or didn't understand, but it all became irrelevant because it was that experience was so deeply seated into me that my backpack is empty. I don't have any cares I need to care about. I just need to focus on being with him, and he's got it. And so, anyway, I really felt him the last week or so asking me to share that experience out here in one of these practicing presence podcasts, if you will. So I'm trusting that if he's asked me to share it, that it will be an encouragement to somebody's heart, into somebody's life. Thanks again for joining. Oh, a couple of other things that have happened besides all these moves. Not like nothing's been happening. Some of you may know that I've done 2 additional book projects with the Lord. The Lord and I have done a couple of new book projects that have been phenomenal. They've been fiction. It's the first time I've ever done fiction. And they're for grown-ups, but they're written as illustrated children's books, as illustrated children's stories. So there's Daisy Dresser's Miracle and Manny Motorcycle's Miracle. And really, take a really good deep dive into unpacking things around our identity, around how we belong, just great kingdom principles. So just know that even though it may seem like I went AWOL for 2 years, I've continued to do the things that the Lord has me do because I live for an audience of one. So I'm not interested in doing things just for the sake of doing it. I want to be where he's at, doing what he wants me to do in the moment, at that moment, and following his glory, his cloud by day, fire by night, and just following where he's going. And so it may look a little bit random from time to time because we don't know where the Spirit's going. It can come one direction and go another direction. But we just follow the Lord and trust that his good pleasure and his will is being done according to his plans when we do that. So thanks again for joining me. I hope this has blessed you. And I don't have any idea when I may do another one of these, but I hope that this one has been a blessing and has given you some encouragement. Thanks for listening.